Hi there, in this video I'm going to give you some hints about the project that we will have it in this course using Power BI. This is a sample file from the data that I will give it to you. I use this file actually as a tutorial to show you how to clean up the data, visualize the data, and analyze it. So this file, as you can see, it has 100 records only. But the file I will give it to you in the project, it has 65,000 records. And first of all, there are some errors here, spelling errors in some of the fields. How can we find them out and correct them? So for example, if you look here, you see there is disability as an insurance type, which have a spelling error, and we need to correct it. I was able to find this because it's on the screen. But when you have big data, it will be hard to find it. So to find and correct these errors, let us create pivot table. So you go to Insert in Excel, and then Pivot Table. It will ask you about the range of data, which you can select it, and New Worksheet. So I'm going to create the pivot table on New Worksheet. In this pivot table, I will take insurance type and sales. And when you look at the insurance type here, you see it has disability and another one disability, but with double S. So now we need to go back to the main file and change the one that has a spelling error and see how it will react on the pivot table. So you go to main and home. And here you see find and select. So we go to replace. And then we write here disability, which is the wrong one. We need to replace it with disability, the correct one. And we say replace all. Here we see that we have 4 times that this error has been repeated. So we will correct it and close it down here. When we go back to the pivot table and we make refresh, then you see that the wrong one has gone. Now, let's check another one. So we go to main. We see here there is another one that's on the, I believe, the region. So let us go back here and insert pivot table and new sheet. And here I will choose region and sales. And if you check here, you find Northeast is repeated twice, but the second one has an extra E. So we go back to main, then we go under find and select, replace, and here we write Northeast. We need to replace it with Northeast. And we replace all 4 times, so they are corrected. If I go back here, make a right click and say refresh, the wrong one has disappeared. So for sheet 1, I will rename it and I call it Rec 1A, and sheet 2, Rec 1B. In the project, you can find several errors. So what you need to do, for every sheet, you create a pivot table, and then you take the columns one by one and see if you find the spelling error, you go and do it, and then you make requirement 1A, 1B, 1C, and so on. And once we finish, we need to save our main data with a new name. So we go File, Save As. I will put it here on my desktop. It's Power BI tutorial, but I will add another word and I say error free. So this will tell me that this file is clean after all the pivot tables. And then we close it down. Then we go to, then we need to open Power BI. When you open Power BI, you will get this screen and you go for Get Data. You got it? And Power BI can get the data from so many types of files. One of them is Excel. So I will click on Connect to get the data from the Excel file I have. If you remember the clean file I just saved, this is the one with error-free. I open it up. And here it shows me all the sheets in the file. I will take the main one only, because this is what we need, and load it. When you open, you don't see anything on the screen, but the file has been already opened, because in Power BI you have 3 modes. The first one, visualization mode. The second one is the data mode, and here where you see the file. And the third one, the relational mode, like in our Excel sheet, we have different columns. Here are the columns on the file. So let us go to visualization. Now I need to check the sales of that company by total, by average, by number of insurance policy, and so on. So let us create a table here in Power BI. So you click on this table, drag it in the middle here, and then we choose state, and sales. Okay. As you can see here, the font is very small. So how can we enhance the font or maximize it? You go to this painting brush, click on it, and you will find here column headers. If you scroll down in the column headers, the font size is 10. You can increase it the way you want. I will make it 16, for example. So you can see the header has been increased. In the same way, I would like to increase the font in each field. So you go for the next one, values, and you scroll down. You see the font size, and you can increase it as well. So here we see that the file is getting bigger. And now, if we make sorting, you can stand on the heading, and you make click, it will give you descending order. And if you make another one, you can get ascending order. So by looking at those states, we can tell which state has the highest total sales and which one has the lowest total sales. It's very easy to find it. DC has the lowest and Delaware has the highest. So I need to write up my conclusion. So you go under insert here and you insert text box. So we insert the text box. And then we write our conclusion. DC has the lowest total sales, while Delaware has the highest total sales. So you need to tell me what is your conclusion. And of course, you can increase the font and make this as a conclusion of your finding. And you go down here and click rename to make it require to A and B. Because in the second requirement of the project, I'm going to ask you which one has the highest and the lowest total sales. Now let us go for the next one and try to get the average sales. So again, we go to table, drag it in the middle, and then we go to state, sales. And of course, you know how to increase it now, so I'm not going to spend time on it. But now I need to change the sales from total to average. So I click here, and under sales, I will click on the average. How do you get this one? I get it from here, from the fields menu. So you click on the fields, you get the menu. The second one is the sales. So here, if you click on the average sales, it tells you that Colorado has the lowest average sales and Alabama has the highest average sales. So if the total sales in Delaware as the highest and DC as the lowest, it doesn't mean that the average sales in each one of those states are matching. It could be different. So we need to write our conclusion here, and we say Colorado has the lowest average sales, while Alabama has the highest average sales. And we keep this in mind because later on we are going to use it to make a decision here. So here we have Colorado and Alabama. And of course we can center it here, we can enlarge the font and so on. So now I did my second requirement. And we go down here, rename it, and we say requirement 2C. Okay. Now, let us go to the next one. Let us go for the sales by count. So we create a table, drag it in the middle, then we go for state, sales, and as you can see here, we get the same thing by total. But now I need to change this sales amount to get the number of insurance policy we made it. So if you scroll down here, you get the sales by count. So if you check the sales by count here, you see that DC has the lowest number of insurance policy, and Delaware is among the states that they have the highest number of insurance policy. So this confirms my earlier finding that DC is a poor branch and Delaware is an active branch. So we can write this in our conclusion. And we say DC has the lowest number of insurance policies, while Arizona, Delaware, and Florida have the highest number of insurance policies. Okay, and this will be my finding here. And then we change the name, so we rename it. This is going to be required 2D. Then we open a new page, and here we need to get it by the sales target. So here we create a table and scroll it down, we get the sales, the state and the sales. And now we need to know which state didn't achieve the target. And let me say the target here is in 8 millions. So if anything here, the number in 1,000, because we deleted the 3 zeros, but here if you count it accurately, it will be in millions. So which state didn't achieve the target? We can see DC, Colorado, and California didn't achieve the target. And which one is the poorest one? It's DC, which if I combine it with my finding in the first requirement here, that DC has the lowest amount of total sales and didn't achieve the target, plus she has the lowest number of insurance policy. So if I ask, what shall we do with the DC? We make organization restructure for this branch, or we can close it down. So for the text box here, we can write it down. We say DC, Colorado, and California have not achieved the sales target of $8 million. And of course, you're welcome to add more of your opinion in this text box. So I make sure that you use the text box to explain to the audience your finding and make your opinion as well. And here we go down and rename it to required 2E. I will stop here and I will record the other requirements of the project in different videos, and I hope you find this video enjoyable. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Thank you.